Hey guys, Master Terry here. This video workout is called 3 Things to Test and Retest. Show you what you need. A little bit of chalk or something to mark the floor. Something to keep track of seconds. And also, this one's a little different. If you look down here at the floor, you see how there are lines in my mats. You need some sort of a right angle, maybe in a carpet pattern, or you've got some mats like this or whatever. I'm sure you can find a spot where there's a little corner for you to put your bottom on when you sit down to do the final test. So what are the 3 tests? All right, come on over here. I'll show you. We've got, these aren't karate things, but they're all things that will help you to be more powerful, more athletic. These are also things that are appropriate for just about everybody. They are easy to measure, and you don't need a lot of equipment, so that's why we picked these 3. Standing long jump, the push-up plank for time, and so this would be for distance, this would be for time, and this would be trying to measure, how many degrees you have in your seated split. So we're going to actually do a little workout and get a measurement for you on each one of these things. And then, these are all things that respond really, really well to training. I think you'll be encouraged when you test and retest on these 3. Only safety thing I would say, if you are like grown up, and you have knee or back stuff going on, of course you can probably just intuitively tell like you shouldn't be doing a big jump trying to go as far out as you can. But other than that, I think these are great for everyone. Okay, standing long jump. Now you do want to be a little bit warmed up, so let's do that together. We're going to do warm up together. Start to go high knees. You put your hands out and just kind of pop your knees up to your hands a few times. All right, now watch this one. I'm going to turn sideways. I'm just going to hinge my hips, push my hips backwards, and then stand back up again. Notice I'm not bending forward at the knees. I'm just pushing my bottom back. Kind of squeeze your butt at the top. Nice. Now let's do a couple of front up stretches to get those hamstrings ready for 5, other leg 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Okay, so come on over here. I'm going to show you what to do with your chalk and your mark on the floor. To do a standing long jump, actually I have to back up a little bit for that. I'm going to put my feet, my toes, right up to a line, okay? And then when I land, we're going to mark this, the spot where my heel is with the chalk. And that's how you know how far you went. So it's toes to the line, and then when you land, mark where your heel is. All right, so I'm here. The technique is load up by sticking your bottom back like we did in our warm-up, your hands back, and then you're going to explode, not so much up, but forward, using your arms, picking your legs up a little bit to travel through the air, and then you're going to land. All right, so here we go. I'm back, and boom. Okay, try to have a balanced landing. I check my heel, and I mark that spot. Okay, so then you would measure that spot. You have a little tape measure, boom, you can do that, and you put your first number up. All right, let's talk about push-up plank. Come on back over, Juliet. Oh, you know what? Hey, so what I find is with this standing long jump thing, if you have that mark and then you go back, and just having a goal to shoot for always helps you do a little better, and I guess that probably applies to all kinds of things. But I'm looking at my spot and saying, you know what, I can beat that spot, so, and now I'm over it, and then I get a new mark, and I can measure. All right, so come on over. You can pause this if you have to, but why don't you get an actual measurement on your standing long jump? Do that 3 or 4 times. If you're feeling like, yeah, that was my best one, then you write it up here. And mine was, of course, 75 feet, a world record. Woo! All right, so whatever you did, you write that down. That's not really true, of course, but you get get your first measurement. Now let's talk about how to do this one, the push-up plank. This is probably the one that takes the least amount of coaching, although there is a tip that you need on this one, is that you no longer are planking when this happens. So I'm going to see how many seconds I can stay up for, but what will happen is you will break in the middle and your belly will start to sag. At that point, guys, just drop out of it. We don't want to be measuring bad technique, right? We want to have perfect technique, really be sticklers about how we're doing things, and then we can just measure good against good instead of sloppy against sloppy. So I'm here, I lift my belly up, everything is tight, bottom tight, belly tight, legs tight, and I breathe. Right before you get up, you start your stopwatch, or if I've got my regular watch here, I can just put this right under and wait until the second hand gets to the top, and as soon as it gets to the top, I will just, boom, lock out, and then see how far you can go. So you do a measurement of seconds and minutes, hopefully, if you get up that high. And I want you also to do that one right now. So again, you may have to pause, get yourself a measurement, come on over. I actually did do this one the other day, and I was pretty happy to get to 3 minutes, and then, boy, that was hard, and so I stopped right when I got to the 3 minutes. Write down your number, and then we go to the final measurement, which is your seated split. Okay, we talked about having a right angle on the floor. Now, it can't be the corner of a room because then you're limited to 90 degrees. So it has to be like out on a floor. I'm going to put my bottom, my tailbone, right at that right angle and like this. And then I'm going to put one leg out on one line and the other leg on the other line. So this is what it would look like if you had a 90-degree split. Now, you see how this other line travels back behind me. If I could somehow get this leg all the way back here, then I would have a 180-degree split. I would have a full seated split. Now, in our experience, I've never seen somebody go from a real limited bad split like this one to a full split. Might be possible if your life depended on it and you were working on it all the time and obsessed with it. I guess that could happen. But we've come up with a number that I think is pretty reasonable for everybody, and that is the 135 number. So if you think about that, here's your 90, here's your 180. If we add 45 degrees to where we are now, so if we go out to this corner of the room, halfway between this line and this line that my other leg is on, so I'm like here, there's my 135, and I think just about anybody can work up to this level on your seated split. Couple of tips on working on this one. First of all, pay attention. I know you can't see my tailbone or your own tailbone for that matter, but try to get this just in your own split. If you should be sitting down with me and working on this right now. But I'm going to roll back and sit more on the top of my tailbone, of my bottom, and you see that kind of just disengages the whole thing. Watch this difference. I'm going to roll my hip forward. Now I'm sitting past my tailbone, more on the bottom of my bottom, and that is how you want to try to be. So we're here, we breathe, we hang out here for a few minutes, and we've coached you on not just sitting there, but actually doing stuff, moving and finding the tight spots and putting some deep breaths into them. So you hang out there for a couple minutes. No reason you can't work on this a little bit every day. And pretty soon you're checking, you're going, hey, whoa, that's my 135 mark, and now I'm more like 140, 145. I don't think you have to have it down to the degree, but within 5 or 10 degrees, certainly you should be able to do this just using this little corner on the floor. So you get your measurement, and I'm going to put mine up. I'm going to say say I was just doing about a 140 and a 3 minute, and whatever my standing long jump was. Forgot the old tape measure. But you've got your 3 things. Very motivating to have numbers, right? Numbers are great. What gets measured gets improved for sure. And these are 3 that are good for everybody.